with Laura hosting a dinner party for her and her girls. Does this mean that the wedding is approaching? What are y'all thoughts? Let me know down below. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review of Life with Chess for Tyler Perry's House of Payne Season 13, Episode 14. Okay, y'all, so first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on tonight's episode down below. Look, am I the only one? I thought tonight's episode was going to show, the whole scene. If you haven't seen it, it's all over social media. It's on TikTok. It's on Facebook, where Calvin is questioning Miranda about what she has on, and she tells him to mind his business, basically. I'm assuming that they dropped sneak peeks the week before. I don't know now. But, yeah, last week, I think they did drop that scene where they showed Ella talking to the deacon about the abuse that Regina is facing. But yeah, okay, on tonight's episode, Laura and Calvin was cleaning up because her girls was coming for a dinner party. So I'm like, okay, it seemed like based on that, what they showed right there about the dinner party, then the sneak peek about Calvin was talking to CJ. And he was basically telling him he need to figure out, what he wants or who he wants, basically, before he says I do. And I was like, wait a minute now. And then y'all know, what was it, last week or the week before last, the episode where she was looking through the magazine about wedding stuff? But yeah, to me, not too much happened on this episode. I will say the highlight or what I got from it or what I liked about it is the ending where Curtis kicked the man out about disrespecting Ella. But yeah, Laura and Calvin was cleaning up because her girls coming for dinner party. And right after they got done cleaning up, Calvin Jr. and Christian end up messing it up again. But yeah, Calvin ends up telling the boys that they have to be more, considerate to the people that live in that house. So they work together to clean it up, only to mess it up again. They messed it up again. Because they were trying to find out what that smell was. They ended up seeing that there was some spoiled yogurt, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this episode, nothing happened. Long story short, if you haven't watched it, you could check it out. But I ain't see nothing that happened too much. But Laura came back and she was upset that the place was still messed up or whatever. So Calvin ends up saying, he gonna treat her and her girls to dinner at some fancy restaurant. And on Ella's side of things, I got a question, because I need to know. Maybe I'm tripping. But did Ella call Deacon Thornton at first when she answered the door? But Ella wanted to have a meeting with Deacon Turner because she wanted to express her concerns about Deacon Thornton and Regina. So she talking to him and she letting him know, Regina came over, she had a knot on her head, and she says that it was from Deacon Thornton or whatever. And he was like, no, or whatever. He accuses Ella of gossiping. And I said, you know what? People would rather falsely accuse you of something than stand up for what's right. He went to talking about, I think before that conversation, well, that part of the conversation, he went to talking about the years he's known him, and he worked under him for this many years. And I said, that don't mean diddly freaking squat. But I want to know if they actually going to pursue this storyline, if we'll see Regina again, because she hasn't been on since that episode, right? But yeah, Deacon Turner accuses Ella of gossiping. Then gonna have the audacity to tell her, I take my brisket to go. Curtis said, he basically said, excuse me. He said, you gonna come in here and talk crazy to my wife and think I'm finna fix you some brisket? Then he kicked him out or whatever. Then he gonna say, Ella, I only meant, and he closed the door in his face. And then he did his signature move, that kick. But yeah, that's it. I guess I'll just tell y'all, if you haven't seen it, what happened on, the sneak peek for, I'm assuming, next week's episode or the week after. Jasmine had came downstairs. She was all dressed up. CJ had a problem with what she was wearing, and she was explaining to him that, that's what they wear nowadays when they go to the club. And she said she was going to support her friend business or something like that. I skipped the part. Let me backtrack. So Calvin came over first, and they was talking about the game, and CJ was questioning him about why he wanted to watch that particular game. And that's when Jasmine came downstairs, and CJ was saying, he had a problem with what she was wearing. So next thing you know, it's a knock on the door, and then, what's her name? Miranda comes in. She's also dressed up. So they going out together. That's what I'm getting from it. Now, I don't know, because I haven't seen the episode. They just dropped that sneak peek. But yeah, she all dressed up too. And Calvin jump up talking about where you going dressed like that? I don't know if that's what he said, but that's basically what he said. I said, what you think this is? How you gonna tell her or whatever? And she basically told him he need to mind his business or whatever. Then when they got ready to go, he gonna tell her, he told them or whatever to put a jacket on or something like that, cover up. I said, what? So that's when CJ was telling him, what is he doing? And he was like, that's why you came over here or whatever. you spying on Miranda. So he was spying on her. So I'm assuming that she had already seen him because she asked him what he was doing there. But yeah, then they got to talking and he was saying, you need to figure this out. And he was like, I already told you, I love Laura, but I also still love Miranda. I said, correction, you love Laura, but you in love with Miranda. But I said, we knew this though. You sit at the kitchen table after you had already proposed to Laura and said, how am I supposed to get over Miranda if you keep inviting her over here or if she's always over here? But yeah, after he said that, and he said something else. What else did he say? He kept saying stuff that let you know that he's still in love with her, that he hadn't gotten over her. Because if I'm not mistaken, and I think I mentioned this more than once, but when they first came back, not when they first came back, because when they first came back, it was called the Paynes or something like that. But when they first came back on the House of Payne, wasn't they still married? Excuse me. But yeah, wasn't they still married? But I will say Miranda tried hard. She kept on. She wouldn't give up. She was popping up. Now he popping up. I think that crazy. I just seen that. I just realized that. I mean. But yeah, I said at first, remember that? Remember she kept popping up and stuff. And I was like, girl, go sit down somewhere. But now he over here spying on her and stuff like that. But what I want to know next is how long before Laura knows. I mean, I feel like deep down she knows. That's why she always said, well, I ain't gonna be one of them people, one of them fans that over here acting like because y'all rooting for Miranda and Calvin that you can't see the disrespectful stuff he has done. Or said like Laura doesn't have a right to feel like, because I just watched the old episode because Facebook keep recommending them videos. Every time you watch one, they want to recommend more. But I was reading the comments and people felt some type of way about, the episode where Miranda had a key and she was just walking in these folks' house. But I seen somebody say that's her place or something like that. I thought, like, I'm confused. Like, did she sell it to Calvin or just give it to him? Like, what happened? I can't remember. But yeah, and she was like, she has an emergency key. And then when they confronted her about it and wanted her to give it back, she was like, she need access or whatever to her son. Then on another episode, then she had that key back. I say on another episode, then she had a key back. But yeah, I was reading the comments and I was like, okay now. So y'all telling me that y'all would be okay with y'all dude or a woman ex just popping up, walking in y'all house? No, I don't think at that point it was their house. It was just Calvin's house. But just walking in. And that's exactly why I said I feel like they should have stuck to certain storylines because they over here act like we didn't see them kissing. Then they possibly slept together when they was on the couch. But yeah, I said regardless, I want to know when she's going to find out. How is she going to find out? Is he going to go through with the wedding? Because from the looks of it, he ain't telling nothing no time soon. But we'll see. Because y'all know, again, they still haven't shown the scene where Miranda and Calvin's supposed to be dressed alike or something like that. So we'll see. What episode is this? Episode 14. So we still got a little while to go. But yeah, that's it. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is her girl. Rest of the night and be safe.